fighting for what they should have since what year?
1948.
Since 1948, students in New York were receiving free bus passes. Why, in the year 2009, going into 2010, does the MTA want to take it away? That's what this fight is all about.
He did all of this on his own. I had nothing to do with it. He has a problem with that. And he knows what to say. He's well schooled. And he cares about all of these students out here and the other students that are not here as well.
They should let no one, the MTA gets money from the local state government and the federal government. Never be defeated. The students united will 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 never be defeated. Students united. No representation, no education, no transportation, no education, no transportation. No transportation, no education, swiping, no swiping, swiping, no swiping, swiping, no swiping, swiping, no swiping, swiping, no swiping.
Dion Ashman here on location. We're at the rally here for the student protest, which is rallying against the proposed cuts of Metro North cutting student Metro cards. I got Mr. Tucker here.
What's going on?
You laid down the Guns Foundation.
Yes.
Mr. Tucker, what brought you out today?
Well, I've been working with Tony Herbert on a lot of different issues, mainly gun violence in the borough of Brooklyn, where I'm from. In 2005, my oldest son was killed. And since then, we've been trying to figure out ways to stop the gun violence in Brooklyn.
Your oldest son was unfortunately taken away from you by gun violence. How, in fact, did that happen?
He was killed by a New York City police officer in 2005.
Wow. And now your response to the loss of your loved one, your son, your namesake practically, is what?
Is basically to, like I said, to respond and let the city, let the state, let the world know that, we're tired of families losing kids to gun violence. We're tired of the situation just being swept under the rug, and we're going to bring it to the attention of the world by doing positive projects, by setting up programs to keep these kids educated and out the street, to teach them and to let them see that they have different avenues.
And now we see that here's a potential cutback in student Metro cards that will cost families roughly about $800 to maybe $900, $1,100 possibly a year per child to send them to school through public transportation. Do you see where that's going to cause kids to maybe hop the turnstile, to sneak through that gate, to get caught out there and have more problems with the police?
What I see is that we have a number of different situations that we can look at. One with the kids sneaking on that actually are dedicated to going to school, because you have a lot of kids that are really dedicated to going to school and getting that education because they don't want to fall prey to the elements that are in the streets. You have other situations where you're going to have the dropout rate increase because kids are not able to get to school, so they're going to be like, well, forget it. And parents are not going to be able to enforce it because they can't afford it.
So, if you have anything that you want to say to anyone out there in the viewing audience that is in support of this protest, but for whatever reasons could not be here today, what would it be?
Well, y'all just need to follow up with Tony Herbert on the Facebook and find out what's going on, because we need y'all support. We need every individual to come out and support, because support is in strength in the numbers. Do understand that Tony Herbert got involved with this. He found Jordan Orvam on Facebook, who had got this whole protest going.
Jordan Orvam initially on Sunday, I want to say, of last week, simply had about a few people signed up. By the 24 hours later, he had roughly thousands of people. Now, today, the protest, he has over 75,000 people that are involved in this protest, including Mr. Tucker. I'm Dion Ashman. It's Our Gang ITV Net. Not ready for prime time. Don't go away.
This isn't acceptable. So then I went online, made a Facebook group, and invited 130 of my friends. I really wasn't expecting all of them to respond at the same time, to respond the same day. So went to church, came back home, had 7,000 people responded. So the people that I invited must have invited their people, who invited more people, and just went out, and it's amazing. I think by Tuesday I had 25,000 people on my page, and I started this on Sunday, but the rally really itself took shape about on Wednesday night. We said we were going. He said Tony Herbert got in contact with me. He said, do you want to organize a rally? I said yes. I said I really do. MTA building on Monday, sure. I said get your people out from your page. I started an event, and people just responded.
So now that people respond, actually today, before I came up to the protest, because word got to me through Facebook and through your mom, and you had over I saw 71,032 people to be exact. 71,032 people when I left. It's probably more than that now. But what was the response that you were getting, say, from your teachers? Because you're a student right now at Al Xavier Lutheran, you're a senior getting ready to graduate. What was the response you were getting from your teachers when they found out about this?
I think that my teachers were just extremely proud of me. Like, they were just proud of what I was doing. But response to exactly what the MTA was doing, they didn't seem to fully comprehend exactly in my school personally. So, but I spoke to my principal, and he told me, not exactly that, we don't exactly have a legal obligation to these Metro cards. I said, we may have a legal obligation, but it's been around for years now. Why would they get rid of it now? And, I don't think that they realize how great of a benefit this was that has been to students. Mr. Schmitz, I spoke to my principal, he's been around for 30 years, he's been a teacher for 30 years, and I'm pretty sure he did recognize that there was a great benefit from this MetroCard system.
We have hundreds of thousands of New York City students attending our public schools.
500,000 will be affected by these MetroCards.
500,000. There you go. 500,000 children who are students will be affected by these proposed MetroCard cutbacks, which will amount to roughly between $800 to $900 per student. That is going to affect certain households. That's a major issue. For those students who could not make it here today, but did sign on to be in support of the protest, going forward, how could they be helpful?
We are going to be posting on Facebook all the meeting places for the town hall meetings, and we are going to bombard these meetings. We are going to be there. We're going to make our presence known, all the youth and students, and let them know that this is entirely unacceptable, that they can't do this. This should be one of the last things the MTA is doing to fill this budget gap or whatever it is. Like I said before, the protest, the page on Facebook is Protest the MTA Getting Rid of Student Metro Cards, and we'll be posting events from this point on.
Now, Governor Patterson, because this has reached the governor's office, all right, Governor Patterson was on ABC News up close yesterday.
And he was on Channel 2 earlier this week. And he said, whatever money I get, I'm going to give to students so they can have their Metro cards back. Okay, honestly, I believe him personally. But the thing is that I'm in a process of wait and see. Wait and see what happens. Politicians make promises of this money, that money. We'll see. Until that point, until this actually comes to fruition, we are going to continue to protest. We are continue to go to the hearings and the rallies, and we're going to continue to do this until this money goes back to the MTA, and they put it in effect to give it back to Super Metro cards.
You heard it right here. It's not ready for prime time. This is Jordan Imani Orvam. You can give out your protest page information one more time before we go.
It is on Facebook. It's called Protest the MTA Getting Rid of Student Metro Cards, and you can contact me and message me through there anytime.